This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Family torn after brother killed in latest tragedy. For the first time in 3 years, Evan Rita Clark was looking forward to a vacation in Jamaica that had nothing to do with death. Arriving in the island on Monday, the only glitch for her was the funeral of a cousin who had died in England. She was at home in Roswell, Clarendon on Tuesday night when a phone call shattered her emotions. Her brother, 56-year-old Delroy Reader, had been killed. It has been one tragedy after another for the Reader family, which lost a 34-year-old Oral Morse, a nephew of Reader Clark's, who was shot dead by gunmen a few years ago. 2 years ago, Reader Clark lost her father. Last year, it was another of her nephews, a U.S. Marine, killed in a motorcycle accident. Now it is her brother, Delroy, a taxi driver who plied the Old Harbor to Sandy Bay routes. According to the police, about 8:40 p.m., Delroy Reader and another man were patrons at a party at Boodle's Crescent in St. Catherine when they were pounced upon by gunmen traveling in a motor car who opened the fire, hitting them. The police were alerted and the men were taken to the hospital, where Delroy was pronounced dead and the other man was admitted for treatment. The other patrons escaped unhurt. Reader Clark told the news that she last spoke with Delroy in Maypen on Tuesday. He came and opened the door and said, "Sis, it has been a while," and gave me a hug. "That was my last hug with my brother," she said as tears welled up in her eyes. "Right now, it's very hard for us as a family because we haven't gotten the time to process what has been happening. I still have to be questioning myself and questioning God, like, why we haven't gotten the time to process this. And now this is another death," she said. "I am numb." Lloyd Reader, younger brother of the deceased, said he got the news while at his cousin's wake. "He is not a troublemaker," Lloyd said of Delroy. "He is a people person. He knows everybody. Everybody knows him. Sometimes you don't take life as serious as you ought to. Then sometimes the crack will open, and I think it was one of those nights for him." Lloyd said he was struggling to accept the loss. Reader Clark, who is also in pain, said she has now given up on the land of her birth. She said that Delroy was in the wrong place at the wrong time and with the wrong person, saying that innocent bystanders got caught up in a feud that had nothing to do with them. "You don't know who you are amongst, and this is the thing that makes me not want to come back. I love my country dearly. This is like one of my breaking points right now. Our plan was to come back and retire here. But with all that is happening around, my mind has been changed. We can't even go out at night like we used to," she lamented. Julian Reader Nelson, another sister, reminisced on her brother's jovial nature, adding that he could easily make people he had just met feel comfortable around him. "It's just tragic," she said. "Persons need to learn to develop dispute resolution skills without using violence to solve problems. It's just a terrible ordeal." Cops probe Tabby Diamond link in Tint's killing. The point-blank range shooting of a teenage boy Tuesday has sparked a probe by the St. Andrew South Police to ascertain whether the killing was in reprisal for the murder of reggae singer Tabby Diamond. The deceased 16-year-old Janio Ellis was walking home after playing video games nearby when explosions were heard at 10:20 p.m. The boy was reportedly shot more than a dozen times. Janio's Seaward Drive family is now in mourning after he was waylaid and shot to death just meters from his gate. His grandmother, Merlin Green, recounted how a shaken relative awoke her from sleep to give her the terrible news. Green said she almost threw up when she saw Janio's body. Janio, who was reportedly removed from Norman Manley High School because of run-ins with a teacher, was to start classes at Excelsior Community College in September. Him have a few little friends, but he's mostly girls. Him play him football and love to laugh. Him no give no problem, but him kind of ignorant and will talk certain things when you get him out, Green said, adding that they shared a good relationship. Reports from the Olympic Gardens police are that 17 spent casings were recovered from the scene. Janio's family said he was shot 6 times in the head and the shoulder. At the murder scene Wednesday, Janio's shot-riddled Tam was on the ground along with a single bullet fragment and the bloodstains on a wall. The family is baffled about why the teen was attacked and is wondering if a recent domestic dispute is among the factors. The police are, however, following another line of inquiry that Janio associated with a faction from Winter Road linked to the killing of Donald Shaw, former lead singer of the Mighty Diamonds. Shaw was shot and killed near his McKinley Avenue home in a drive-by attack on March 29. Another man was also killed. Several men reportedly linked to the March attack have fled the island. Tabby Diamond's son, Jamarly Shaw, who the police high command has dubbed a known violence producer, is behind the bars charged with murder. The community of Samokan, where Janio lived, has been relatively violence-free for some time, the news understands. The amount of shot him get, they're sending a signal, obviously. That is real malice there behind it, a senior policeman said. Green and an aunt denied claims that Janio, the eldest of 3 children, had acquired a firearm recently. "Me miss everything about him. As the mother would say, I miss spoil him," said Green. "When she has showed pan him, I me him come to. Him listen to all him auntie. Him no disrespect nobody." Police pursuing leads after shooting of bus conductor on Halfway Tree Road. Police are pursuing leads to find the perpetrators who escaped after shooting a bus conductor Wednesday afternoon on Halfway Tree Road. Reports are that the conductor was traveling in a bus and on reaching the vicinity of the National Beacon Company, a Toyota Probox motorcar with occupants aboard approached the bus. The occupants opened fire, injuring the 26-year-old conductor. It is reported that the police who arrived quickly on the scene chased the driver of the motorcar through several communities in the Maxfield Avenue area, where the driver was forced to stop on Ransford Avenue, where he escaped. The police say that they have seized the vehicle and are conducting forensic examinations as they pursue leads into the case. No motive has yet been established for the shooting. Lone survivor of crash triple tragedy rules losing son and friends. Stony Hill resident Horace Mayer was jolted from sleep by a July 27 motor vehicle crash on Mandela Highway that claimed the lives of his son and 2 of his best friends. Horace, whose son Kevin Brother Mayer was the driver, said it is a day he will never forget. Kevin, 37, Mark Rumpley's Witter, 54, and Pedley Clarky Clark, 51, died. Horace was the lone survivor. Kevin, Mayer, and Witter died instantly after being flung from the mangled vehicle. Clark and Horace Mayer was trapped in the wreckage and had to be assisted by motorists and were then rushed to the nearby Spanish Town Hospital. Clark succumbed to injuries on July 30 after battling for his life for 4 days. The men were heading home from a funeral when Kevin, who was reportedly speeding, lost the control of the vehicle, which hit an embankment and overturned. "Me no remember nothing. God in heaven knows. The only time I remember is when we reached the hospital and we come out," Horace told the news from the steps of his home on Monday. He saw his son's body along with Witter's in the back of the police jeep and then realized they had crashed. Horace still has memories of his son's face smeared in blood and said he regretted how him kill off himself. Despite still suffering from some discomfort, the elder Mayer discharged himself from the hospital after 2.5 days and 2 nights without a bed. He sustained a whiplash and a few scratches, but is still reeling from the trauma of Kevin's scheduled autopsy on Thursday. "Whole heap of things go across my mind. I say is must God cover me. All the jerk up and flip when me hear happen. Me no hear or see nothing," he told the news. The elder Mayer has been left to wonder whether the other 2 men had also been asleep during the wild ride or if they were awake and failed to warn his son to slow down. Horace's granddaughter was supposed to have traveled with them to the funeral, but was left behind because of a last-minute wardrobe malfunction. The family is now thankful the child did not go. Arrangements are now being made to bury all 3 men, who all hailed from the northern St. Andrew community of Stony Hill. Reports from the Central Village Police are that about 4:10 p.m., Mayer, a taxi driver, was driving a Nissan AD wagon motor car towards Kingston with 3 men aboard. On reaching a section of the roadway, Mayer allegedly lost the control of the vehicle and crashed into the rear of a Mazda Premacy motor car that was traveling towards Spanish Town, St. Catherine. The driver of the Mazda Premacy was not hurt. Executive Director of the National Road Safety Council, Paula Fletcher, recently bemoaned the ongoing failure of successive governments to make the requisite investments in a safer island-wide road network, even as road deaths and injuries continue to climb. The 487 persons killed on the nation's roads last year was the highest since 1985, according to data provided by the Road Safety Unit. The same data show that the annual death toll has stayed well over the 400 mark since 2019 at 440, 433 in 2021, and the projections from 462 in 2022 and 471 in 2023. The latest statistics from the Road Safety Unit show that as at August 16, some 302 persons have been killed in 264 fatal crashes since the start of the year. Fatalities have decreased by 2%, while the number of deadly crashes has fallen by 4% compared to the corresponding period in 2021. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.